Okay. Um, Hello. Chicken Little. Ciccone Little, as the title of this video will say. The end is near. Okay. End of the world stuff here. I'm not actually going to talk about this film, but I'm going to talk about the reference to this name and this idea, the end is near. This particular name here, I'm going to talk about a reference to this with Madonna and the idea of Madonna dying on the 21st of February, another 122 number. Okay, so we're going to go through all these tabs up here. It's going to take a while. This video really ought to be about 3 hours long, but I've chucked a load of stuff out of the way for now. And what I'll probably do is, if you can't stomach this, I will probably do some bits and bobs of pieces out of this video in an abbreviated context. Okay. Anyway, so as I said, I'm not going to talk about Chicken Little. I haven't seen the film. It's kind of a dude that believes the end of the world's coming. It's based on a folk tale, Henny Penny. I've never heard of it before, really. It's probably more of a continental European folk tale. The penny reference. Yeah, the penny reference. Coming back to Penelope, Odysseus returning home, the penny, getting rid of the penny recently. Donald Trump saying, let's get rid of the penny. What else is there to say about this film? 81 minutes, that's interesting, but this is also interesting. The release date in the United States, 114, the CRM 114. And again, if we look at Madonna here, hang on a minute, we don't want to get on this stuff yet. If we look at Madonna here, okay, 114, okay, Madonna, Ciccone, okay, Ciccone is how that is pronounced, I believe, 114, okay. Now, what do I want to say about this? Why am I saying Chicken Little? Well, if we go to a certain individual, Malcolm X, okay, Malcolm's last surname is Little, okay, Malcolm Little, and Madonna's surname is Ciccone, and if we mix the two together, we get Ciccone Little, Chicken Little, okay. Now, he's born on the good old 519 date, the We Seek We Find date, okay. So this is kind of interesting. Madonna also has the video where there's several videos where Madonna dies in the video, okay, music videos I'm talking about. The one that's springing to mind with the 519 is actually, well, the reference that's springing to mind is Bad Girl, okay, and that's the one where we've got Christopher Walken in the video, and obviously Christopher Walken is a reference to Christ last year. Easter was on the 31st of March last year, and that's the same day that Christopher Walken's born, okay. So anyway, in that video we have a reference to looking at a watch in that video as well. This will become important in a little bit, the reference to looking at the watch and the time going backwards, okay. But where we want to get to is the assassination date of Malcolm X, okay, which is February the 21st. Okay, so this is the same day, and look at the age, 39 again. Very interesting with this reference back to the Hoover Dam with 39, the 30th of September. So this would be the same day. So we would potentially, if this would happen, it would be Madonna dying on Malcolm X's assassination date as well. And of course, with Madonna, we have this reference to Madame X. Okay, just while I'm on this, the release of the album, yeah, titled Madame X, June the 14th. Okay, Donald Trump's birthday. But so this idea of Madame X and Malcolm X. Okay, this X stuff. And we've just had, again, with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, we've just had this reference to little X here. This is little X. This is Elon's son, X. And they refer to him as little X. Okay? Are we getting this? Malcolm, little X here. It's just super. I mean, I tell you, it's just you can't write this stuff. And we're not even into this yet proper, right? So again, we can look at some stuff with Madame X. I want to just reference the fact that the guy who wrote the play ties us back with the 4/9 date. This is going to be important as we go through here. We just need to put this in the back of our mind. Also, the death date, which is a 127 number, which is again Madonna numerology, and it also ties back into a certain train crash that we'll come on to in a little bit. I know I'm repeating some of the same stuff. You know, a lot of this stuff's, in fact, most of this stuff is in previous videos. Okay, but again, April the 9th. Okay, 4/9, and this is a particular date that we're going to be looking at for the Hoover Dam here in a minute as well. Okay, so Madame X is tying into this, and if we go to, you know, actually, I want to say this is to do with Madame X, but I'm not 100% sure. But needless to say, it's Madonna, and she's typing out something in this. This is from one of her music videos where she's typing. I think it's like God something, God complex or something. I don't know what it is, but anyway, doesn't matter. We're just looking at what she's wearing here: the glasses, the shirt and black tie. Okay, the glasses, the shirt and the black tie. Madame X here, and now we want to look at Malcolm X. Yeah, the glasses, the black tie, the white shirt. Okay. Okay. So are we getting this? This is pretty, you know. I mean, she does this a lot with other characters like Marilyn Monroe and so forth and so on. But you know, important stuff here. That brings us on to the film with Denzel Washington, no less. We've got to have a Washington reference back to the dollar bill. But what is interesting about this is the wife. Well, actually, let's just look at the tutu that's in here. This is important with the dollar bill. We'll get back onto this, and also 122. Okay, November the 18th. The balance date in the center of the chart of Lorraine. This is important with a number that's going to come up in a minute with a number jump with 163. And boy, we're going to tie that back to iPet Go and to some other things as well. So, but what is really interesting about this is the character that is playing. Actually, let's go down to it because I want to click on her real name as well. The character that is playing the person that marries Malcolm X, okay? Angela Bassett. Okay, let's look at the birthday. Now, they've gone whole hog here because not only is the birthday matching, but the year is matching as well for Madonna's birthday. So the character that is playing Malcolm X's wife in the film, or the actress that's playing Malcolm X's wife in the film, is exactly born on Madonna's birthday. Yeah, date and day of the year and year as well. So this is extremely interesting. I haven't bothered putting her name in the Gematrinator. It might be worth just whizzing that in there really quickly, you know, and just having a quick look. Which one was it? This one. So let's get rid of that a minute. Sorry, this is kind of on the fly stuff. Anything interesting there? Not really. Not really. It's the 209 is interesting. But we'll come on to we'll backtrack onto this gematria stuff in just a second, okay? So anyway, the film, that's interesting, okay, that they've done that in the film. I haven't even gone through the rest of these people, you know, the other dates in here. There's a whole bunch of people in the film. I just can't be bothered, okay? There's no point to it, okay? Well, there might be a point to it, but I'm not doing it in this video. Okay, so anyway, Malcolm X, the film with Denzel Washington. All right, what else have we got up here? So I think we're getting the Chicken Little reference, okay? Ciccone Little, Malcolm X, Madame X, and what's important about all this is the crossing of the eclipse, okay? The X eclipse across the United States of America. So we have some interesting number jumps that tie us again back with the Hoover Dam. So what I'm going to show you actually is actually down this end. I want to show you straight, number one, the date of the 14th of October 23 eclipse. Okay, now why is this important is because this is when Madonna started her celebration tour on this particular day. Okay, and if we look to where this came to New Year's Eve, it was 444. Now 444 is an important balance number. Okay. The other thing this cross-references with, this 444 cross-references with the age of the Hoover Dam on that same 31st of December just gone by. We've got this 326, okay, and this is the release date of Who's That Girl, the original release date of Who's That Girl, okay, 623. This is the age of the Hoover Dam now, the Key Bridge stuff. There's just a ton of references to this 326 with the Hoover Dam, okay? And we are still in this. In fact, the last day that we'll be in 326 will be the 9th of April. So this will be 326.99 on that particular day, okay? So this is, again, fairly interesting, okay? Now, what else do I want to show you in here? So actually, what I want to do, should we jump to, let's do this Colne FC stuff first, because we need to know why 122 is particularly interesting with Madonna. So I've referenced this before. This is Die Another Day, the film, okay, with Pierce Brosnan, and in a leap year, Pierce Brosnan, his birthday, which is the 16th of May, actually links into Madonna's birthday. In a normal year, his birthday actually links to the day after, which, coincidentally enough, Madonna's first husband, Sean Penn, is born the day after her birthday on the 17th of August. So he's got an interesting link to Madonna, okay? And he's not the only Bond character that has an interesting link to Madonna, because, of course, I don't know if I have him in here now. I got rid of. Well, anyway, Roger Moore. Yeah, there he is. Roger Moore. With A View to a Kill with Zoran. Okay, and so we're back to Christopher Walken again. And Christopher Walken is also in another film, Live to Tell, which is actually, that's not the name of the film, that's the Madonna song that is in the film At Close Range, okay, with Sean Penn in it, okay, and they just did a re-release, and the length of the song was 5:19 as well, I think, or something like that. Anyway, Roger Moore, yeah, 14th of October again, the start of her tour, okay. So this is extremely interesting, because let's just do some number jumps real quick, because I'm going to be all over the place with this, I'm sorry. But we just need to keep in the back of our mind, all of these little references that's been going along. If we go from, no, we don't want that one yet. Okay, if we go from, hang on a minute, I'm showing you all the wrong stuff here. If we go from the start of her tour through to the 21st of February, we've got a number here. Okay, it doesn't look that impressive. It's 496, but actually it's a pretty impressive number. Okay, 496 days. Let's look at it. It's a perfect number. This is the third perfect number, and it's the 31st triangular number. And why this is interesting is because, again, Christopher Walken, 3/31, okay, his birthday, okay, Easter last year, okay. Don't forget, Easter is super important with the idea of the eclipse, yeah. It's essentially, that's what Easter references, okay, the idea of going into the eclipse and coming out, okay, going into the tomb, dying, and then coming back out and being resurrected, okay. The sun and the moon, the tomb, the rock, the tombstone, yeah, moon. Anyway, so this is well interesting, isn't it? Okay, and we've also got the 49 in here, and we've got the 96, yeah? The hanged man, the resurrection. How do you want to look at this? Death and resurrection, yeah? With the yin and the yang, okay? Number of ways of looking at that. For those of you that don't know, a perfect number is if you just take all of the divisors here, right, all these numbers up until 248 and including 248, add them all together, they'll come out at 496. Okay, notice some of these numbers in here: 31, 16, 816. Okay, 124, 816, her birthday. 124 is super important with her, again with the Queen. If you just read this backwards, the Queen's birthday. 31 again, very important again. 62, train, Madonna. 62, 124 again in here. 248, the cycle of Pluto. It's very nice, isn't it? Okay, so let's backtrack again. This is when she finished her tour. Okay, 5/4. Now again, not that interesting, is it? Okay, through to the potential death date. Oh look, 293. And then we've got the 93 in there, the 29. Oh man. Okay, check this out. 62nd prime number, 62 again with Madonna, dollar, all these things. 62, very important. We will go to the Gematrinator in a minute, and we'll look at all the 62 stuff. Super duper important. Okay. What else do we have going on here? Well, this is really interesting as well, because we've got this 1022 date. Now, I've shown you the 1022 date before. Again, when we go back to Die Another Day, now don't forget the start of this film has a hoverboard, a hovercraft scene at the start of it. Tying back to the Hoover Dam, right? And what we want to look at is here we are, the Madonna song. Okay. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Hang on. I want to click this one. Die Another Day. Okay. Look at the release date, October the 22nd, 202 as well. Okay. Again, if we go from that date, okay, I don't want that yet. If we go from that date last year and just, the 1022 and come through to, again, 221, the other way around, okay, it's 122 days from that date through. I mean, that's quite a nice little sort of triangle of 122 references there. Okay. All right. What else do I want to show you? Oh, blimmin' hell. We are going to be all over the place. So that's with the the Die Another Day stuff. Okay. Again, in the film, she does a cameo in it. She's in it, and she is a fencing instructor in Who's That Girl? Okay. In Who's That Girl? Madonna has the end scene to the film. There's basically a fencing scene at the end of the film. Okay, they have a sword fight, right? So this is again super duper important. All right. Oh dear, oh dear. The other thing that 1022 ties into is this train crash. Okay, and the numbers that show up in it again are Madonna numbers. This is in the Gematria 127. Just mentioned it a second ago. The passengers, the 131, yeah, with Madonna. 131 days from Madonna's birthday to Christmas is 131 days from her birthday to Christmas. So the Madonna and the Christ, okay, linked up with 131. And in Back to the Future, you know, the steam train that goes over the cliff, just like this train has come out of the station and crashed onto the pavement below. Again, 131 on the side of the train, okay? When we look at one other thing, the one lady that was killed in the street below, Mary, yeah, August, yeah, Madonna's birthday is in August, Marie Augustine, okay, super duper interesting. Type 240 locomotive, yeah, or the 24. What else? I mean, you know, what else have I got to show you in here? Okay, so now this would probably be a good time to actually go on to another thing with Madonna and how this ties back to. What do I want to show you first? Let me show you the number jump, because this will make more sense if I show you this number jump. And I really need to go and show you some more number jumps with the 122, which is in the dollar bill. Let's wait a second on that though. We'll backtrack to it, okay? So I want to find a particular number jump. Let me do the iPet goat reference first, and then we'll go into this other goat reference, okay? So the iPet goat reference here. Easter this year, okay? Easter this year, so we're dealing with Christ again. Easter, 420. If we go from potentially Madonna's death date here, or at least 221 through to Easter, it's 59 days. Now in iPet Goat, we have the Super Bowl trophy, which it becomes Madonna with the dying Jesus, the dying Madonna, those two things, the Black Madonna, the idea of this stuff, you know, going into the eclipse, okay, so, which is like dying and being and then being resurrected. So it's 59 days. Okay, so the 59th Super Bowl this year, okay, number 59 was this year. Yeah, are we getting the reference with Madonna through to Easter, which is the death and resurrection of Christ? Yes, yeah, so the death. She's there weeping over the dead Jesus. Okay, the death again, maybe of Madonna. So this tie-in with iPet Goat, yeah, with the 5-9. Pretty interesting to say the least. So we have that time to iPet Goat, and then if we're thinking about the goat, okay, at the Hoover Dam, they did the Freightliner thing, okay, and they shone this up on the Hoover Dam. Actually, I don't know if they did shone this particular logo up on the same day as that, or whether they shone it up. They might have shone this up a day earlier. I can't remember off the top of my head. But needless to say, they did the Freightliner picture show, right, where the dam breaks in it and everything, and they have this idea of the return to the wilderness. But they did that Freightliner show on 5/5. Okay, so we've got the goat here, the pet goat here. Okay, so we're tying back again with the pet goat. Note the size of these horns on this goat, right? Note the Colne or Cologne, if you want to say it, or you could. So then you have the Twin Towers in here, Colne Cathedral, and also the idea of the clone. Yeah, the copy. This is what the system does. It makes a copy of you, which is the birth certificate person, and that's how they control you, with a fictional thing that doesn't really exist, okay, except in their filing cabinet, okay. But what we want to look at is this 1FC, yeah. F is 6, C is 3, so this is 1.63, and 1.63 is a reference to the golden ratio. Madonna's birthday numbers, 1.618 is the start of the golden ratio, okay? And I'm going to explain why 1.63 is an especially interesting reference to the golden ratio in just a second. We'll go to the chart of Lorraine and I'll explain it. But just notice as well, this is kind of like the Hoover Vacuum Company logo as well. It's kind of interesting. And again, in A View to a Kill with Roger Moore and with Christopher Walken, yeah, okay. His logo, his Zoran logo, is kind of similar to this, except it's in green, okay. But it's similar, okay. There's a similar idea with the circle and the stripe going across it, okay. Where do I go from here? So iPet Goat, we've gone from iPet Goat to this. We've got to keep in the back of our mind they did this on 5/5, the Freightliner thing, okay? Because we're going to go to the freight to the thing in a minute, but we need to now drop back to the Super Bowl because we just had the reference with the 5/9 Super Bowl, her Super Bowl that she did. Okay, actually I might have it up. I thought I had it up here. Maybe I've deleted it now. Gosh, I wanted the actual to show you the actual. I want to say it was on the 5th. Of course not. You know, Celebration Tour, Super Bowl, here it is. Okay, so number one. Okay, this is loaded as well. And I've talked about a lot of this stuff before, but number one, Lucas Oil Stadium. Okay, Lucas numbers. Okay, and again, the Lucas Oil reminds us of Cars, and there's a whole bunch of references in Cars and the film I'm talking about. Not to mention the reference to Route 66, and Route 66 tied in with the 4/8 eclipse last year with its length, giving us the date. What else did I want to mention about that? Oh, Route 66. Madonna is 66 years old right now, okay? And actually, I might have that up here somewhere. I'm sure I had that up here. Because I was like, I've got to show that to people, otherwise. Because this is one that people would go mental on, you know. Where the hell did I do that now? Was it this one? Hang on a minute. Yeah, it's this one here. So from her birthday through to the 21st of Feb. Okay, this doesn't look very interesting. We'll click on it in just a second, but what I want to show you is it's 66 years, 6 months, 6 days. Okay, right? Lightning McQueen as well in Cars. The McQueen, Steve McQueen. Let's just look at this. Nothing majorly popping out at me there, okay? But again, 66 years. So if it was to happen, people were just going to go mental about the 666 in here, okay? They'll just go absolutely crazy about it. Let's jump back though now. Okay, so I'm going all over the place. Let's jump back to this reference again. Back with this. Okay. Let's now look at the Super Bowl. Oh, well, do I need to talk about any more stuff in the Super Bowl? The 2-5 date that it took place on. I'm not going to talk about. I've talked about a bunch of this other stuff before. At the end of this, when she does a thing, she goes kind of over the dam or through the dam because of the way that the stage is set up. But she essentially dies at the end of this. Notice Bridgestone. Notice the tire reference again. And we had a bunch of tire references with planes and stuff. And oh man, we can go around in circles with this stuff. But Bridgestone as well. Yeah, Bridgestone. The bridge that is made of stone, the solid stone bridge. Okay, Route 93 going across the top of this thing. Yeah, it was essentially a bridge at one point in time, made of stone. Okay, it's just it's important. What else have I got here? What else? Super Bowl 46 again with Donnie Darko. The number, the 64, Donald Trump with the 46 references. I'm trying to think what else there is. Jeez. I'm not even sure. We need to go back through all these people's birthdays as well. I just can't be bothered to do it right now, but just note this reference. This is kind of, a deep one as well. Okay, but what we really want to do is get to the symbolism in the actual thing itself. So she comes on in this big throne chair, yeah, which is the Hoover Dam. Okay, the throne is the Hoover Dam. And notice what she's doing. She's kind of climbing up on, this is the two legs of the Hoover Dam. This is the back of the Hoover Dam. And in fact, it's funny because you hear other people talking about this now. And I got, videos on this from years ago. But this is, again, look at the writing on the wall. She's got graffitied on there. So the writing is on the wall. And notice what she's wearing. She's climbing on the dam. This is what that goat does. Notice the horns here, like the goat horns. So she is the goat, yeah, on the dam. The greatest of all time female artist. I don't know about that, but this is her up on the climbing on the dam here, just like this goat climbing on the dam. And this is what these goats do in the wild. They climb on the dam, okay? Again, she spreads the legs like she's going to give birth to something here. Yeah, this could actually have this might be some other symbolism in here with the headdress thing. But again, definitely with these two long horns and the two long horns here, I'm definitely seeing some resemblance there and the idea of climbing on the dam, okay? So, and also having this writing on the dam as well. And again, the writing on the wall, okay? So, let me just show you something, okay, about this particular number here that's here, the 1FC. Let me show you just one thing real quick. And again, now I've got to think where I've got it. Oh dear. I can't remember where it was. It's from 9/11. Let's do this one. Was it from 9/11? No, that's a different 9/11 date. Oh dear. Let's just click through them. I could have sworn I had it up here though, No. Maybe I don't have it up here. Well, we'll put it in. I think it's worth showing it. Her birthday through to... No, it was 9/11. Come on down. Let's get it right. one thing before I get off of this number jump, so we don't have to come back to it. Okay, so we're gonna go to the 221 in just a second. But from 9/11, look at this number through to the 49 date. Okay, again, this is 861, so it's Madonna birthday numbers in here. Okay, so this would be a precursor. So the idea here is, if she dies, this would reference now. We're gonna, be maybe referencing back to the Hoover Dam again later with the 49. I don't know. Again, all these dates are kind of interchangeable. But let's go to 221, and then we can see it's 23 years, 163 days. So this 163, which would be from just 9/11 through to that particular date, is 163. Now, why is this important? Okay, so let's look at this again with the Twin Towers. So a 9/11 reference, and then the 163, and then we've got the goat here, Madonna in the Super Bowl. Yeah, so we've got everything we need there to make the decode, to potentially make a decode if it were to happen for Madonna's death date. Yeah, 163 days from 9/11. So the 1, 6, and 3, change these letters through to 9/11. Now, what's also interesting is if we go to the gematria on that, look, I'll get off of that. If we put the whole thing in it, now we see it's 6226. Now, of course, Madonna is 6226, along with train 6226, along with the dollar bill. So the dollar 6226. So this gets really interesting, yeah. So showed you the train. We'll come to the dollar bill in just a second, where the 122 is in it. Okay, and the 49 and all that stuff. Okay, but this is just well interesting, isn't it? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we've done it. That's tying in iPet Goat with the Super Bowl, and again through to the Super Bowl here with the goat on the dam, and then back to the whole thing, shining this image up on the Hoover Dam with the Freightliner thing that happened on 5/5. And if we go to 5/5, okay, I'm going to show you something in the dollar bill here. I'm not going to do the actual fold and everything. Maybe I should do the fold. Let's just do it, because otherwise it's not going to be easy to follow. So let's forget about this for a second. Let's go to new, let's save, and let's go to paste. So we've got the dollar bill in here, so I can explain the 122 and the 5/5 and the 4/9 and how all this stuff ties together. So firstly, we would need to put there's fold lines all the way through this thing. I'm not going to show you exactly everything right now, but what we do is we fold. There's a fold marker buried underneath here, and it's pretty simple to find, because it basically just goes right here, just underneath the writing. Okay, and then what we can do is we can actually count up leaves and berries, and we can do some number jumps here. Okay, and so when you count up the leaves on this top of this line, it's 5, and then again on this side it's 5 as well. Okay, and then below the line what we have is 1 berry, 2 leaves here, and 2 leaves here. And so if we go from 5/5, Cinco de Mayo, so if we go from 5/5 through to 122 days on, it's going to take us to 4/9. And when I say 4/9, this is the September the 4th. Okay, so this is well important, because this is some years, this is Labor Day. Okay, the idea of giving birth. She had her legs spread. So this 122 is a mirror of another number that's in the dollar bill, and that other number is 155. And that's another number jump that's in here. Let me show you it very, very quickly, because this is pretty important as well, actually. So if we look at this side of the dollar bill here, it's these leaves and berries, 2 here, 5 here, and 4 berries. Okay, so 254. The 254th day of the year is 9/11. Okay, and then if we count the leaves and berries in the center here, this is 1 berry, 5 leaves, and 5 here. This is our 155 jump. Okay, which happens to be a mirror, the mirror of that, below that line, by splitting that apart, is 122. Yeah, 2 and 5 are mirrors of one another. But anyway, if you go 155 days from there, it's going to take you over to this other side of the dollar bill, and we've got 2 here, 1 and 3. So this takes you to February the 13th. Okay, but here's the interesting thing. If we were to go the other way with 155, so instead of going the same direction as the days are going, so if we went backwards 155 days from 9/11, it's going to take us to 49. Okay, and this is, again, I do my dates around the wrong way, but this is April the 9th. Okay, April the 9th. So this is the next date we're looking at for the Hoover Dam, April the 9th. Okay, so these two linked via that 155 opposites. They're opposites. Okay, so this is a hidden, this references this and this references this. Hidden dates. But I wanted you to be aware that this 122 is in the dollar bill and it comes across, and then one other thing, because of all this references with Diana recently as well, I just wanted to also, and this idea of die another day with the film, yeah, die another day. So obviously 122, the 1022 on die another day gives us another 122 idea, because it's just die another day, yeah, another 122 day. But the other thing with die is Lady Di, Diana, okay? And so if you take the dollar bill and you fold straight down through this little nipple thing sticking up through the shield here, which happens to be also, if you look down, it's kind of the center of the portrait frame at the bottom of here. You move this over and join it up. What you end up with is, well, you end up with kind of a mess, but you join it up over here. It's roughly something like this, and you say to yourself, well, this isn't lining up very well. But what it makes is it makes this letter D here, okay, which is, again, it's a D, but it's backwards, okay, and it's also could also be an I. So D and I, okay, so if you D and I, and this is backwards. That's important that it's backwards, because we're going backwards from 9/11 to get to this date, if you get what I'm saying there. The idea of it being back to front is kind of interesting. But anyway, D and I is obviously 4 and 9, okay? Of course, the 49ers have been, referenced quite a bit in Super Bowls recently as well, 49ers, okay? Just a couple other things to note. The 1-3 here, the 13 that's here, and then this is also 4 berries and 5 leaves when she finished her tour. 13 obviously is super duper important. I want to show you some gematria actually, so let's just get off of this. Don't forget, the dollar itself is 62 as well, like Madonna. Okay, Let's go back to the gematria and let's go through some of that gematria real quick. And I've still got the Harry Potter stuff to do. Blimmin' hell. Okay. So the Colne, if we put Colne, we did that. We looked at the 6226 with Colne 1 FC. Ciccone Little, when we mix the two names, this was interesting, yeah, because we had the 13 there. That's again on M is 13, the 13th letter of the alphabet. That's really important as well, because Madonna, the big M. Okay, right. Look at the 221 here, yeah, for the reverse on Ciccone Little. So I thought that was interesting. Obviously, Chicken Little is also interesting with the 131, 59 Super Bowl, 22. Don't forget at the top of the dollar bill, it's 2 bunny ears and 2 bunny ears. Okay, so that is super interesting. And one other thing, when you do join these together, if we just look at the totals here as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 leaves. Okay, and then you could split your berries or put them together, but 8, 5. Okay, 5 berries. 85, 1985, 58. Yeah, the year she's born, and 85 with Back to the Future. Super duper important again, and you can also have 1, 8, 4 or 1, 4, 8. Okay, now that is well important as well with the whole Pluto cycle and the idea of this sort of hidden birthday, the 14th of August of kind of the prodigal son. Okay, this hidden date that comes before 9/11, all to do with Pluto. Okay, just thought it was interesting in there as well, and obviously you could make some other numbers out of that, but one of those numbers is, of course, you've got the 4, you've got 413 in there, and you just make loads of numbers out of that. Anyway, oh gosh, I'm getting really tired now as well. A couple of other things I wanted to mention. Malcolm X 93 123. Yeah, we did the train 6226. Malcolm Little really wasn't that interesting. The 24, the 48, and 147, which again is numbers that tie into Trump, tie into Bastille Day, and dear, you just go around in circles. Die. This is what I wanted to show you as well, so you're just familiar with it. Yeah, 4-9. Yeah, 13 and 41 when the clock stops. Had that reference with the 999 with Diana, and the 4-1 when Donald Trump came back in with the clock tower stopping. Again, I don't know what to say. 13 again. Die. Die another day. Dollar. Okay, interesting. 6226 with the 100 in it and the 37, which also ties in with train and Madonna. There's our 127 with Madonna. Madame X is 1 digit below on all those numbers and on the first 2 numbers, and then 1 digit above. So instead of 127, it's 128. Again, I've got some interesting stuff to show you, but I'm not going to get around to it right now. 128, again with Matthew Perry's death date numbers here. And of course, Matthew Perry is like 3 days, his birthday's 3 days after Madonna's. So 16 goes to 19, and those numbers they're just rotations of one another, her birthday and Matthew Perry's. Okay, so this is important again. What else to say? Here, look at Madonna, her full name, Madonna Louise Ciccone. We've got the Malcolm X's birthday in here with a 195. Okay, and this 111 again, super duper important. In the actual film Die Another Day, the baddie dude is born on the Queen's birthday. Okay, so again with the 111, this is important. With 9/11, this is important. Madonna Ciccone 114. Okay, you might see some other stuff in there that's interesting, but that's all that done. So I'm about to finish this video. I've got a couple more things to do. I want to show you just, I don't know if I'm going to show you these numbers now. Let me just show you as well. Okay, so we did that one. Okay, that was the 666 stuff. From 9/11 through to 4/9, yeah, this is the back jump, 155. Okay, now that's important. I want to just make sure you were familiar with that. We did the 163, and I showed you the other date there, and this was it. I just needed to click one further forward. Okay, but the 163, so we've done that. I want to just mention why that is important. Let's just show you real quick. We go to this one first. So this is the chart of Lorraine, and 18 divided by 11 is 1.636363 reoccurring. Okay, so it's that reoccurring. So it's 1.63 reoccurring, right? This is the central balance point of the chart of Lorraine. One other thing to mention is if we were to put the 4 row in here, which is not in here right now, but if we were to come across to the number 9, it would be 118. Okay, so this 1.63, why that's important is because 1.618 yada 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 is the golden ratio. Okay, it's phi. Okay, this is an approximation of phi. All these numbers in here, if we do this, if we do 21 divided by 13, it's going to give us an approximation of phi. If we do 123 divided by 76, it's giving us an approximation. The further we go down the table, it should get closer to this number here. Okay, right. Any of these numbers in, any of these numbers here are going to do this. Fibonacci, Lucas, or what I call pi, the pi row. Okay, so that's the importance of 1.63. It's basically the center point of this. Okay, anything else to mention? One more thing. Death dates. Who else? Birthdays, death dates. I want to show you one other guy, and that is, oh, bloody hell, where is he now? This is just terrible, I know. But Alan Rickman, okay? You know him from Harry Potter. You know him from another very 9/11-ishy film, which is Die Hard. We're going to go to it in a minute. Born, yeah, February the 21st. Dies 114. Yeah, those Madonna numbers, 114. Yeah, on the speaker at the start of Back to the Future, 114. All the 25 references as well. There's some interesting stuff with that. From Donald Trump's birthday through to that particular day is 252 days with all the 25s in Back to the Future, at the start of Back to the Future. But anyway, Alan Rickman. Yeah, so let's go to Die Hard. That's obviously the place to start. And it's actually right here. Let's just backtrack here. Die Hard, right? yeah, so we've seen the symbolism here with the crash, with the top of the tower blowing up. The references in here. We've got John McClane, like Don McClane, with Bye Bye Miss American Pie. And Alan Rickman is the baddie in this film. Okay. Now, there is a reference at the start of this film because he needs help, and he manages to attract the attention of a cop, and that cop is Al Powell. Okay, so Powell is another good reference to the Hoover Dam because Lake Powell is just the next lake up. I think it's the next lake upstream with the Glen Canyon Dam. The Glen Canyon Dam has similar, kind of looks similar to the Hoover Dam somewhat, but it's just a little bit further upstream. So Powell is always a good reference to the idea of the Hoover Dam as well. Anyway, this is the guy playing the cop, and in the film, notice the birthday of this guy, right? And he, funnily enough, he was just on Dancing with the Stars, and I want to say it was the 33rd season. It's written down here somewhere, but he's got the Madonna birthday, so he is. His attention is drawn to the whole situation. He's just about to leave until Bruce Willis John McClane froze a body out off the building, and it hits his car. Okay, the cop car. Okay, so anyway, what's fascinating about this is the other guy that comes. I don't know if there's anybody else that falls from the building in the film, but Alan Rickman does at the end. And what happens is he's holding on for dear life, and they have to release. I can't remember her name. His, Bruce Willis's wife, have to take the watch off, and then he falls. So this idea with the watch, which is kind of interesting, reference back with Madonna again, with the clock, with the watch coming off, and the clock in Bad Girl when she dies as well, with the 519 on it. So this is, it's just interesting that, this idea of the jumper. And if we go to Madonna's, I've got that in here. If we go to Madonna's song Jump, yeah, notice when that's released, September the 11th, 2006, so a 26 reference. Again, kind of interesting with the idea of jump, and then these, of course, the people in 9/11 jumping, but the reference in Die Hard to the jumpers, but it's also what attracts this character in with Madonna's birthday, and potentially with the jump, with potentially a date that ties nicely in with maybe Madonna's death. Okay. Anyway, what else to say about Alan Rickman is Harry Potter. Now, I'm going to tie back Harry Potter. Now, you will recall that in Lady Gaga's video 911, okay, there is a scene where a gauntlet falls off, or it is referenced in the music video for 911. There's a gauntlet reference, and in the music video for Die Another Day, there is a gauntlet of a coat of suit of armor that falls on the floor. Okay, in that video. So this reference to the gauntlet, to the hand coming off. Okay. Again, that's a point in the video where, in the Gaga video, where I believe it's referencing Madonna's death, and we have the I Pet goat scene in that video as well, with the Black Madonna mourning the Basically, the Madonna has died and the Christ child has died at that point. So we have those references there, and then there's a little box, okay? And I said before, oh, that kind of reminds me of Harry Potter. The little box that gets opened, it kind of looks like Harry Potter in there, or it looks like the little character out of Who's That Girl, but with glasses on and with a wand. Or maybe it's a reference to the fencing, but the fencing stick is kind of, when they use it in Harry Potter, it's kind of like they joust with the wand. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's kind of like a sword fight with the wand. And so this idea of the fencing and Harry Potter becomes very interesting at this point. And of course, if I can get to the point, Alan Rickman is Snape in the film, okay, and he's kind of a baddie, but he kind of protects Harry at the end. I'm not really up on my Harry Potter stuff. I mean, I've watched it years ago, but I didn't really pay too much attention to it. But anyway, there's this reference, in Lady Gaga, and this idea to, again, this character. It's interesting with Severus as well. Yeah, and Snape, this idea of the snake, and slithering, and 7-7. Again, 7-7 or 7. 7-7, Stephen Stevens with Billy Idol, and then also 7-7s are 49, and then if we go 7 cubed is 343, which is in GoldenEye on the tank, the 343. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it other than you can just go around in circles with the numbers, the 7 especially. Another thing that kind of I thought was interesting in here as well was John Hurt. Okay, now, boy, this guy has been in a bunch of films. Note the 128 death date here, tying in with Matthew Perry with the October 28, right? Notice the 122 here, okay? So he's got the 122 birthday, right? And notice the Vincent in the middle. That's interesting as well. But he's been in films like Alien, 1984. He's the baddie in V for Vendetta, which we just did with the V for Valentine's Day. And he's the wand maker, okay, in Harry Potter. Okay, oh, he's in Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull. I mean, he's just been in a ton of stuff. I mean, absolute ton of stuff, okay? But again, this is very interesting with the 1-2-2 reference. And while I was on there and I was looking at this, the wand maker, I'm looking down here and it's like Zoe Wanamaker. So we have the wand maker here, okay, reference, the wand maker. And then we have Zoe Wanamaker, right, playing Madame Hooch. And I'm like, Hooverdam, Madame X, Madame Hooch. I'm like, the Wanamaker play, I mean, just the little ridiculous references here. That's just crazy, isn't it? I know people say, oh, that's a stretch, Dan, but whatever. Yeah, I kind of want to leave it there, to be quite honest. What else to say? There's a ton of characters in here that show up in Bond films, etc. Was there anything else? I think that's it. I know I've forgotten a bunch of stuff in there, and I know I've skipped over a lot of stuff. Like here, 16 days before her tour starts, remember the sycamore tree at Sycamore Gap that was cut down, the Robin Hood, tree that was cut down, this is a rebirth idea here and coming out of the Matrix idea. If you look at the symbolism and everything, and I did a video on this at the time, and again, this is right before her tour starts, and who's in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Alan Rickman, yeah. So it's just little things like this, the number 16, 16 days before that, yeah, 16, 168 with Madonna, okay, or 816, whichever way around you want to put that. Yeah, I could probably go on for hours about this. I need to go to the bathroom anyway, so it's a good point to stop. I think I've done everything. That is probably a mega long video. I apologize. There's just so much stuff to get through. But, this stuff, little x, okay, and, I don't know, it just everything tying in on itself here, Chicken Little, end of the world, the end is near. It's a nice reference, isn't it? The end is near. How near is it? That's the question. And is it really, we would need some confirmation like Madonna croaking. I'm leaving it there. Thanks for watching. Okay. I'll see you later. All right. Cheers. Bye.